So normally I do some research, I write a script, and then I make the video. Today I'm just gonna sort of riff a little bit since we're on summer vacation anyways, and maybe nobody's gonna notice. So, hey guys, what's up? It's your man Pete, and we're gonna talk a little bit about sort of what's going on in the market right now. Obviously, we're still sort of in the dog days of summer. A lot of people aren't even here. A lot of people are traveling overseas, visiting people, about to come back into the city. I mean, I know we're still sort of in the thick of, these massive interest rate hikes, these huge inflation issues that we're seeing just, all over the world. And we're still sort of suffering from the effects of the last big hike. But this is a very interesting time for us to analyze and to look at the market. Obviously there was a peak in the early part of this year, which, nobody could have really known or anticipated that that was actually going to be the peak. We're working with some rental clients, some younger people, some Gen Z kids, sort of in their early to mid 20s who are actually moving out of their family homes right now, and they want to live downtown for the first time ever. Unfortunately, right now is actually probably one of the worst times, if not the worst time, to be renting a condo downtown. I've never seen anything like this. It's simply extraordinary. Usually when you're searching for condos to rent downtown for people, you usually have, I don't know, at least 60, 70 or 100 or 150 options to choose from in one given zone. Now, when I search a specific zone for people, it's 7 options, which is absolutely nuts. I've never seen anything like this before. When we're dealing with other properties, the listing agents are coming to us and telling us, we're so sorry, there's so many offers, where a rental condo is getting 12 offers, 15 offers, 19 offers. We're sort of used to seeing that in the buying and selling market. We definitely saw that earlier in the year, and we've sort of been seeing that throughout the past 10 or 15 years here in Toronto real estate in general. So when it comes to buying and selling, it's not really an unusual thing to see, 15, 20 offers at a property. But when you see that much for a rental property downtown condo, something is certainly going to shake or break here in this market. Coming back out and saying, what, why am I paying this much in rental? Why am I getting into a crazy bidding war to rent when I could actually buy something? It doesn't mean that this is going to happen immediately. It's not going to happen right away, but it's going to take some time, maybe 6 months, 12 months. We might start seeing some recovery in people buying properties again, or maybe even as early as fall of 2022. Because frankly, if rental rates go up the way they are, the math just doesn't really work anymore. There's always this sort of change and inflection point. We're certainly not quite there yet. It's the beginning of the market and possibly the beginning of the rebound. And if we do a little bit of digging and research into the market of buying and selling, obviously it's not the best time right now because there's not a lot of data, because there's not a lot of transactions happening, right? So basically the way it works is when you submit an offer to somebody and you try to lowball them, if they don't accept it, then there's no deal done. And if there's no deal done, then we don't have any information, we don't have any data, right? So basically there's a low water mark, right? For somebody who wants to sell a property, they have a certain number or idea in mind that they'd be willing to let the property go for. And the buyers, some of them are sifting out deals, but frankly, just right now, there's just not even a lot of buyers in general. So hopefully that situation will improve in the fall. I'm pretty sure we've reached the bottom here. This is probably about as bad as it's going to get, I think, in my estimation, at least for 2022. I don't know what it's going to look like next year in 2023. I suspect that it's probably going to improve. It's going to look a little bit better. But the signs of the rental market are just absolutely nuts, because you have a lot of home sellers who couldn't sell their houses or couldn't sell their condos. They're putting their properties up for rent now and renting them for $3,000, $3,500, $4,000. That's for a house, not for a condo. But 2-bedroom condos are easily going for $3,000, and I could probably see them go up a few $100s over the next couple of months, to be honest, with bidding activity. Because bidding activity is really what sets the price here in Toronto, right? So it's basically the demand side that's actually driving the prices, and it has been for many, many years or even decades now. But yeah, so if we look at sort of some of the neighborhoods, some of the blue chip neighborhoods, like sort of the east end of Toronto when it comes to townhouses and semis, we can see that that area is actually holding up quite well. In that area of town, they're like, what recession? Like, what interest rates? Many of those people are actually viewing this as an opportunity. And to be honest, I've been tracking the market in the East End, and it hasn't really been affected that much. So if you really want to purchase a property in a neighborhood that doesn't go down during a recession or doesn't go down during massive rate hikes, I would definitely consider the East End of Toronto, sort of like Riverdale, East York, those types of areas, which is really the epicenter of real estate here in Toronto. Working professionals want to be close enough to the downtown core, and they sort of want to be a part of that community of, this new generation of home buyers. And then if we look at other places like perhaps North York, again, prices are holding up really well there because sellers are pretty moneyed over there. And so they just don't want to get rid of property because you're submitting an offer to them. So we're definitely seeing some strength in the really sort of solid blue chip neighborhoods in Toronto. There is some price impact, but at the end of the day, sellers are holding up really strong in those neighborhoods. And then generally it sort of branches out from there. Obviously the softer parts of Toronto and the GTA are, places that are further out of the city, because it's very clear that everyone is moving back into the city. Renters are moving back into the city because I think it's not so much because of the work and hybrid model. It's really more like they want to be in a downtown core. They want to live the urban life. They want to, have entertainment, dining, drinks, meeting up with the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you're into. Okay. But yeah, it's very clear that after 2.5 years of the pandemic, people are moving back into the core. Downtown has not died. It just took a bit of a breather, and prices are actually back up to pre-pandemic levels. And in short order, it's probably going to set new price records here in the downtown core for rentals. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the buying and selling is going to recover from here. I think, there's a lot of savvy, smart buyers that are contacting us here at Selling Toronto, sort of initiating the process, trying to see if there's any good deals. Frankly, the best deals were probably about a month ago in June of 2022 when there was a huge amount of supply. So right now, what we're seeing is a lot of people pulling their listings, terminating their listings. I think there was an article written about it, about how many listings have been terminated, and it's a new record here for Toronto and the GTA. What you're going to do if you can't sell your property is you're probably going to put it up for rent or hold on to it for a little bit longer and sort of wait for maybe the fall market or the spring market of next year, a more opportune time to sell, because clearly the summer of 2022 is the bottom. It's the pits, right? So, I'm not expecting a lot of action coming out from July's report or even August's report, but, I'm also seeing townhouses, in the category of $1 million to 1.3 million doing actually quite well, in the better neighborhoods. They're still selling and they're still getting bidding wars, and people are still going $100,000, $200,000 over the asking price, which is sort of what we've been used to seeing. So again, sort of the great neighborhoods, the solid blue chip neighborhoods like North York or the East End of Toronto when it comes to houses, or even places like Richmond Hill are still holding up quite well in terms of their price with the deals that are actually getting done. And so it's very interesting times. It's kind of like when we were early in COVID and we wanted to figure out what the baseline was for COVID and the infection rates. Right now, what we're seeing is the baseline rates, right? So, when people really need to sell, when it becomes sort of an extreme buyer's market and there's not a lot of buyers and physically there's just not a lot of people here in the city, this is what it looks like. Like the prices are still holding up quite good. And, a lot of people say to me, like, you're such an optimist when it comes to Toronto real estate. Well, the thing is, I originally wasn't an optimist, right? Because we all suffered through the great crash of 1989. Even though I was just a kid at the time, I felt the effects because my parents were really struggling at that time and they probably bought at the worst possible time. And so that was sort of one of the reasons why I got into the real estate industry, to sort of help people and navigate and help them figure out what's the best possible time to get in. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I say. It really ultimately depends on your lifestyle. It depends on what you need, right? So if you're getting married this year and you need a place to live together, then that's the time for you to buy a place. It's not, trying to time the market like an investment. If you were living overseas and you got bundles of cash, then yeah, you could possibly time the market and buy at the right time. But real estate is generally a lifestyle decision for the most part. But yeah, I just thought I would fill you guys in, just letting you know what's going on. Rental market, crazy hot. Never seen anything like this before. So frankly speaking, it's just going to be a matter of time before people start buying again, because the rentals are just going to get a little bit too crazy. So, these are probably the early signs of a rebound. It could stretch out over 12 months, but it's interesting to see sort of what the baseline looks like here for Toronto. And, frankly, the better neighborhoods are still holding up really well. And so, that's an attractive proposition for some people that want to buy a property in a neighborhood where it doesn't get affected by crashes. It doesn't get affected by global wars, right? So if you need to know more, if you want to learn more, or you want to work with us, give us a shout. Contact is in the description below. It's also at the end of the video. We'll help you guys get set up and help you properly analyze. But, at the end of the day, the decision is for you and for your family. We're just here to guide and give you the right information, maybe give a little bit of our opinion and some analysis and insight. So I hope you guys like this video. I appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Feel free to leave a comment, but you should definitely give us a thumbs up if you like the video. We'll see you in the next one, guys, and thanks for watching.